You need to build a mind that's impenetrable. And I'm going to attempt to explain to you my mindset and how this mindset is the best mindset that you could possibly have on the planet of the earth. I genuinely believe I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet. I genuinely believe this. Now, my mindset developed from me going through hardship. I lived a very eclectic life, no matter what your age is. I know some people who's old who have a garbage mindset. I know some people who's old who have a weak mindset. So age doesn't matter when it comes to having a strong mind. I want you to understand that first. This experience I went through, I was with this certain woman for 3 years. One of my girlfriends. I had many girlfriends. I'm preem. I'm walking around with a Long Johnson. Of course, I'm going to have more than one girlfriend. But one of my many girlfriends, one of them died. We was together for 3 years. And imagine living your life with someone and you expect tomorrow and it just vanished. It just took from you, right? And she died when she was 19. I think 19 or, I think she died when she was 19. She didn't get to see 20. We both thought she was going to see 20. She died like a month after her birthday. And this experience, as I said, I was with her for 3 years. We lived together. We did a bunch of things together, traveled around together, did a bunch of things. The reason I'm making this point is because most of you, I understand what you're going through. A lot of men going through heartbreak, going through depression, going through anxiety, going through stress, going through self-sabotage. I understand you in a way which the world and the people that do not understand you. I understand exactly what you're going through. I understand everything about you. I know who I'm speaking to right now. And this is why you need this mindset. My mindset was developed me losing my girlfriend. It built my mind to the point where I do not need anything on earth. After my girlfriend died, here's what I did. You can learn from me. You can try this as well. I went out to the wilderness after my girlfriend died. After she died, I went out to the wilderness and I fasted and I trained every single day to get very, very disciplined. And this taught me mind control. Every single day, it was so hot during the day, like the Savannah Desert. And at night, I was by water. Everybody knows water amplifies the atmosphere. And at night, it was so cold. It was freezing cold. And I was out there with the wild animals, fighting wild animals, training, hot sun, no food. So I constructively built my mindset through hardship and pain. And when I came back, I went back to boxing. I've been boxing since I was 6, 7 years old. And it formed my mindset all the way to now to be impenetrable, bad motherfucker. I genuinely believe I'm the baddest man on the planet. I genuinely believe nothing on earth can affect my mind. This comes from going through constructive pain, putting yourself through things and doing things and not being soft on yourself to develop your mind to this point. This is why I just opened up a program, which you can get the pre-sale for now. This link is in the description or this link is in bio. It is exactly teaching you this impenetrable mindset to tell anybody on the face of the planet to get fucked. My mind is so strong to the point where I can look at someone, I can look at a government, I can look at anybody straight in the face and tell them to get fucked. I do not believe in having a weak mindset. Mind is the most important thing that you have. You cannot walk through earth not being able to control your mind. People come to me talking about self-sabotage. And I sit and I say, how do you not have control over your own mind? It is your mind. It is your tool. It is your ally. So if most of you are chained by self-sabotage, how can you even do anything in life? How can you even try? How can you win? Do you understand that your mind is the critical component, the key factor to success? Everybody wants to talk about money, but money starts to get to a point where what is there even to buy anymore? You have a certain amount of money, buy a car, buy more clothes, go on dates, go on yachts, travel, food in the fridge, bills paid. After that, it's like, what else do you spend your money on? Well, you spend money on things that money cannot buy, which is what I teach, which is why I'm one of the best people to learn from. My whole experience and my brand as Preem is built off of not having money, built off of things money cannot buy. Money cannot buy a mind that is not affected and warped by external circumstances. Money cannot buy this mind that I've developed through hardship. Money cannot buy these things. It can buy you the framework. I can tell you the system and framework, which you can get in the link in the description. You can get that. But I'm saying these things have to be developed. So money is just not enough. That's the point I'm making. Money is just not enough because money at a certain point, there's nothing left to buy. So you start to get in the point, okay, where can I invest my money? Well, you start to developing places money cannot buy. You start to get coaching, you start to get programs, you start to learn, start to buy books, you start to learn things that affect your mind. Everything in life comes from you thinking different. When people want to make more money, what first happens? They have to have a thought about making more money. When people want to become more successful, what happens? They have to have a thought about becoming more successful. So yes, everything do stem from your thought, but don't think this from a metaphysical standpoint of thinking you could just sit around and do nothing. No, every thought and the mindset that I tell you is that linked to action. I'm not just going to have you just sitting around meditating, thinking to a certain extent. No, you need to use your mind as a weapon. Your mind needs to be your greatest ally, but for most of you, it's become the enemy. So you need to question yourself. How many times did you doubt yourself? How many times did you sit around lazy, not doing what you needed to do? How many times did you rely on motivation rather than discipline? How many times did you self-sabotage your own self? Forget the enemies, they are already been defeated. So you need to understand your enemies have been defeated by Christ himself already. But you need to understand that your mind starts to become the enemy. If you cannot control the way that you think, you can't move through the life correctly. And I can tell you this, if you do not control your mind, someone else is. If you do not control your own mind, somebody else is. The news, the distractions, the TikToks, the Twitter, whatever it is. So if you're not doing the dominant proportion of your thinking, someone else is thinking for you. Now, this is different when you have a mentor. This is different when you have someone you respect and you want to think like them. Do you understand? This is different. There's a difference between mindlessly just adhering to whatever someone says versus adopting their mindset. What slaves do is they listen to people, regurgitate things that they do not even know. They regurgitate things from their enemy. They think thoughts from the enemy. I refuse to let a thought come into my mind that will distract me and disfranchise me. I refuse to let my own mind betray me. I refuse to let my own mind go against me. Now, this is how you develop it. You first have to start to talk to yourself differently. You have to change the way that you talk to yourself, change the way that you speak to yourself. That's the first step. If I can leave you with anything on this is it. You need to first change the way that you talk to yourself. I believe I'm the absolute fucking man. I believe I walk through the earth. I can do anything I put my mind to. I do not care. If something happened to me and someone say, Jay Preem, this bad thing has happened, good. It's my mindset, good. Bad things to me, it may be bad to you, but it's good for me because it makes me more powerful. I only believe in things that give me power. I do not believe in things that take my power away from me. Because if someone came along and said, hey, Jay Preem, you're going to be depressed, this, and that. Oh, yeah, you're depressed. I wouldn't get discouraged. Oh, like if a doctor or someone seen my future and said, Jay Preem, you will be depressed at this time. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't give a damn. I'm going to do the same thing that I will do every day. So the enemy wants you to convince yourself that you're depressed. The enemy wants you to convince yourself that you have all of these mental things that you cannot control, but you can. You can affect your mood with your own thinking. I've done it before. But this is why I say I understand how you feel. I know the depression, the sadness, and the anxiety, and the self-sabotage, and all of the things that you go through. But if you control your mind, you can win. If you can control your mind, you can overcome all of the mental limitations, all of the mental blocks. If you just genuinely listen to what I'm telling you, you can control your mind. That's all it takes. They want you a slave. That's why they try to convince you that you are depressed and that you have all of these mental things that cannot be affected. They want you to believe that your reality and your mind can't be affected. These are the things, that's their only weapon. Their only weapon is to convince you. Their only weapon is to use your mind against you. That's the only weapon that they have to create you to be a slave. So when I'm telling you this information, this is a movement. This is a movement. I'm telling you exactly why is it important. You need to control your mind, because if you don't do the predominant portion of your thinking, somebody else does. I genuinely wanted to ask you a question. When is the last time someone sat you down and told you to build a mind that's strong? Not just go to the gym, not just read books. When is the last time someone actually sat you down and told you to build a mind to become impenetrable and strong? They don't tell you. School doesn't teach you to have a penetrable mind. This is why I talk about these things. If your mind is in your control, you cannot lose. You cannot fail. You have an irrational, delusional self-belief about yourself. I personally do. I genuinely believe you can send me out to the wilderness. You can send me out Savannah Desert. I have no water. I have no materials. I have to find a way out. I believe I will get out. I'm praying. You can see me, there's not a woman I look at I can't have. There's not a car I can't. There's not nothing on earth I can't have. This is the mindset you need. Every woman want me. When I walk through, all the women staring, looking, boom, 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 boom. You start to get to a point where you are irrational self-belief, to the point where you start to delete bad experiences. You start to delete bad experiences from your mind and only see the good. You start to be grateful in the midst of chaos. You start to be grateful through the pain and the suffering and the hardship. And this is also why I say all of these things are fuel. Now, depending on how you think, you can either use your depression, your self-sabotage, your doubt, and all of this as something that will destroy you, or you can use it as fuel. You can sit there and say, yes, I may be depressed currently, but I can use the energy to not be depressed. I can use the energy to create my life. I want you to understand, emotions are energy. Emotions are energy. It is fuel. So if you feel depressed, if you feel sad, if you feel all these emotions, you need to sit there and say, good, I can use this energy to transmit it to positive energy. So anytime I've ever felt these things, I don't believe in the idea of depression as you can't affect it, right? Yeah, you can still feel sad, but I don't even operate from that realm. I don't think that way. And the fact that I never thought that way, I never became it. But I know the feeling. That's why I say I understand exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly how you feel. But if you just wake up, if you control your mind, if you control your thinking, and you learn how to speak to yourself correctly, and if you walk into my free program, which it's not free, but it's pre-sale, my free Telegram, t.me/Preem Operations. If you show up, if you read the Telegram chat, if you control your mind and actually use the tips that I tell you, you can win. And I also opened up a program which is on pre-sale. You can get it 50% off. It's just now out, but this is the route out of how to control your mind. It's the best thing on the planet. They don't teach you these things. They don't teach you this in school. So anybody that tells you that paying for yourself or paying for things that will help you is a scam, you need to get rid of them. Investing in yourself is never a scam. Investing in yourself is never a scam. Because once your mind shifts, your reality shifts. Because once you start to think different, you talk to yourself different, you start to do different actions, and you start to sit and say, okay, I'm thinking about doing said action now. I usually would think about doing that action, but now I'm doing that action because Preem has rewired my brain. When I got into his program, FU University, he's rewired my brain to the point I can take action. I can take more action now. So action starts to become more easy because your mind is now wired for action. You start to instill a subconscious pattern, which I don't even want to go into depth about that, but you start to instill a subconscious pattern of starting to take more action, and action start to become easy and effortless. See, this is where it starts to separate the pack. This is where I start to separate myself from the pack. I built my mindset off of pain and hardship. Pain and hardship is required. I see it as something good. If you tell me something is going to be difficult, I say good. Preem, said thing is going to be hard. Preem, nobody's ever completed this before, Preem. You can't be the first one to do it. You can't do it. I say good. I'm going to do it anyway. Watch me. Watch me be the first one. Watch me. I'm warning you ahead of time. That's the mind that I have. I used to walk in sales jobs and get the job immediately. I'm cocky as fuck. I would sit down and say, why do you need this job? I'm the best salesman on the planet. I would come here and I would curse every goal. Why would you want to get some scrub from the street who can't even articulate himself? He can't speak in a way that I am. He can't speak like me. Why would you get him? I believe I'm the best. And whenever I put my mind to do something, I get it done, regardless of regardless. That's how I think. That's how I carry myself. Now, the reason why thinking is very important, because the way that you think is how you would carry yourself. They did a study and even said body language is a result of how you're currently thinking. You can see meek, little shy people walking around like this because they're thinking. What are they thinking? They're thinking in their mind that they're weak and shy. So I break all of the garbage. All of it is absolute garbage. All of the slave programming and slave thinking, which they have taught you, you need to absolutely get rid of it because it's all garbage. Everything that I have told you so far is inside of my program, which you can get that. You can get that now. This will unlock you and take you down a different pathway and make you more formidable as a man. Any realm I can go through. I kind of say, Preem, you have to fight against the greatest boxer in the world. Will you still fight? Yes. There's 100% chance of you losing though, Preem. Will you still fight? Yes. I'm not afraid. Who cares? My mind is impenetrable. You can hurt my flesh, but you can't hurt my mind. That's the thing. I can't be hurt because of my mind is in my control. I will never allow the external force to get inside of my mind. I would never allow it. I would never allow my mind to betray me. My mind will be subject to my control, and I will force it to obey. I refuse to live a life where I cannot control myself. I refuse to live a life where I cannot stop something. So when people come to me and say they can't stop self-sabotage or they can't stop this certain habit, I can't imagine living that life. I can't imagine living a life where I can't even stop a habit. People, it's hard to get rid of habits. Well, you live your whole life a slave to habits then. So I reprogram my mind and rewire my mind to absolute dominance wherever I go. I'm the most dominant in the room. I'm the most respected in the room. I'm the most powerful in the room because my mind is my control. I don't care if someone's richer than me. I don't care if someone knows more than me. I don't care. We think differently. That's what separates me from the pack. We think differently. I think like a king. I think nothing can hurt me. My mind is impenetrable. So that is why it's most important. This is why this is the best mental model, the best mindset you could ever have on the face of the planet of the earth. While you're alive, I'm telling you, this is the best way of thinking you could possibly have. You could take this to anywhere realm. You could take it to women. You could take it to finances. You could take it anywhere. I've just explained it all. And I continue to explain it all. This is just the surface. This is just the surface. I say, if you want the deeper info, you know where to go. Link is in the description. But it's absolute necessary that you control your mind. If you control your mind long enough, you can win. You can make everything subject to your control because reality is subjective, and the way that you think is how you interface and react with the world. If you change the way that you think, if you change the way that you talk to yourself, your actions start to change. You start to say things and you start to actually do them. Now your mind is on your side, and now your mind is your ally. So therefore, then there's nothing you cannot do. Mind is the seat of will. Everybody say you can get things done with willpower. Well, you can use your mind because mind is the seat of will. Subconscious mind is the past reasoning will. So all of your results is currently from your will. Now you can control your will. The conscious mind is the mind which controls reality, not in a metaphysical standpoint, but physical standpoint. When you think about going to get food, you go out and you get food. When you think about buying my program, which is the link is in the description, FU University, you go buy it. When you think about drinking water, you start to drink water. You just grab it and you use your conscious mind. That same power can be used to create the results that you want. But you first have to believe that you can control reality. You first have to believe that you can control your thoughts. You first have to believe that you can control what you can, and you can win. You know where to find me.